Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of Black Clover, chapter 340, opening. In the last chapter, we have Asta trying out heavily severance. Alright, he has a knack for it, but he uses anti-magic, or I guess anti-energy, instead of their normal energy, which isn't magic, but it's kind of like life force thing, whatever. It's ki. He's using anti-ki. It's interesting. Think of it like Hakai, destruction magic or something. Anyway, so he's learning this, right? They're saying that this is what he's gonna need to be able to beat Lucius, and so the training arc begins. Chapter starts off with basically Asta showing off like he's breaking a bunch of the bamboo with the heavenly severance, but anti-key version, right? And they're like, dang, okay, seems like you got the basics down. This might be the same day, might be another day, doesn't really matter. And so Ryudo's explaining, like, you know, he's explaining Zeten, and basically I guess that's like the technical term for what it is, heavenly severance. And he's basically like, oh, you know, you want to be able to use Zeten, you gotta do all these things, release it, blah 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 blah, all the details, not really important. And so Ryudo suggests, he's like, you know, why, if you really want to touch up on your skills, why don't you throw hands with an expert? And he's like, Ichika, you know? And so Asta's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna throw hands with Yami's little sister, you know, I know she previously has probably not been taking things very serious, so let me activate Black Asta form. All right, puts on his demon stuff. I don't think it's full Devil Union or anything, but you know, he activates Black Asta. He's like, all right, let's do this. And so we got the healer guy. He's kind of like, oh snap, he's holding himself with anti-magic. So that means that any normal Ryo jutsu probably wouldn't work on him or anything, right? And so Ichika's like, you taking this serious? And Asta's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you know, I know it's training, but it's a real battle. So I'll tell you right now, if you don't take this serious, you gonna die. And so she puts on the demon face. All right, she's been putting it on a couple of times. All right, she's always mad. But when she's serious, her eyes get the lights and she go crazy. So she says this, blitzes, open palm slaps him through with some bamboo, sends him flying. Asta's like, dang, I know I defended, but that shit would have hurt. Like, even with the anti-magic, technically her Yojutsu shouldn't even be working on me that well, but it still hurt. So he's sent back, right? Ichika's on the pursuit. And so Asta's like, all right, well, let me take out my katana and let me hit you with that severance. And she dodges it. She, I guess, diverts the slash a little bit out of her way. And like, she comes around behind him and she's on the offensive again. She's going cut to cut. And then she sends him flying, hits him with the kick. All right, the eyes do the light thing. Bang, sent high up. All right. Asta's in there. He blocks it with his sword, right? He breaks through the bamboo out the top, and Ichika again on the pursuit. She's hopping between the bamboo trees, and she's on the way. Now Ryudo's, he's commenting on the fight. He's like, "Oh dang, anti-magic's pretty strong." Mind you, Ichika's currently she's on the offensive. Like she's putting it to Asta, but he's like, you know, he's pretty tough, and when he's concentrating, he's not that easy to get a hand off on him, but he kind of relaxes while he's fighting every once in a while, and then that's when Ichika strikes. So I guess the best way to look at it would be that when the moment before she attacks is when Asta kind of goes on, like, he calms down. He's like, all right, let me lower my defenses for a second to readjust or whatever. And that's when she hits. And so while they're in the air, Asta goes for a slice. She diverts the slash. Then she grabs him by the collar and does like a judo throw and throws his ass far as hell, right? And as Ryudo's commentating, he's like, oh, you know, if Ichika's hitting on your little relax points and, you know, catching you off guard, Lucius is going to do the same thing. He has the strongest time and soul magic, all right? If you're going to face him head on, you know, you're going to have to try to fend him off. You can't, you know, be chilling out. And so Asta's able to get a reversal on Ichika, all right? So she threw him, then she came in with a spear kick, but Asta catches it and throws her into the water. Nice little reversal. And I guess that pissed her off because initially she's going hand to hand. He throws her in the water. She comes out the water, eyes blazing, hand on sword, going for that Shishi Son Son. She goes for the slash. Asta's able to block it, but to block it, he's like sent fully off guard. Like his whole guard is opened and everything, and she slices all the tops of all the bamboo trees, like all of them, or at least a lot of them. All right, there's a huge slash range, right? And so Asta's left wide open, and so Ichika then proceeds to kick him in the stomach again, sends him flying into the bamboo, crashes and everything. And Ryudo's like, dang, you guys didn't have to make such a mess, So Ichika's like, I don't even need to run up on him, because that kick has put many a man down. He's finished. And so Asta's kind of like, well, obviously it's training, so Asta's kind of like, dang, like with that kind of power, I don't even need Devil Union to put hands on Lucius. This is crazy. And so Asta's kind of falling out of consciousness. He got a heavy kick to the gut, and he's going down. But that's not how this story ends. Asta gets his ass back up. He's like, I ain't finished yet. We must keep going. The lesson ain't over yet. Beautiful panel. Great panel. But Ichika, she said, you ain't the main character of my story, and she slaps the absolute dog shit. Like literally, there's like the haymaker of slaps. Like I am sure she was walking up and she was maybe like, he's probably gonna be passed out or whatever. He took the L, and she sees him stand up. She's like, oh snap. Anyway, and she just bang, like completely knocks like literally got him. Well, I wouldn't say tooted up, but he got feed up, about to touch the back of his skull. The way she slapped him, all right. And Ryudo and the healing guy, they're looking at it like, wow, you have to do him so bad. And so she says, spare me your blustery nonsense, you fool. I'm like, dang. He was just, I don't know if he was feeling confident, but he's trying to keep the lesson going. And she knocked the fuck out of him for that. She was like, I don't know. He's kind of, first I was real battle, so I felt like the amount of energy I was putting in was appropriate. 1, 2, that nigga was pissing me off, because Ryudo kind of questioned her. He's like, you think he took it a little bit too far? And she's like, no. Anyway, Ryudo then says, well, Asta's pretty impressive. There aren't many people who could take a serious hit from you and stay conscious. There's very few in this country. And Ichika is not commenting on it. She's probably like, fuck this kid. He's a filthy foreigner. Get him up out of here, right? And so he's knocked out on the floor, looking sad. And so basically Ryudo ends off the chapter by saying like, hey, he's got a lot more to show us, don't you think? And Ichika's like, y'all better stop laughing before I knock those smiles off your face. She didn't say that, but I know that's the vibe we're getting in here. I mean, she respects Ryudo too much to throw hands with them, but I could totally imagine her being like, if you were a different person, you can catch these hands too. But anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Good chapter, very fun. I quite enjoyed it. So we get a sense of how strong Ichika is, or at least like how crazy she can get with this Heavenly Severance, what is it called? Zen 10 stuff, right? She is washing Asta. Now, given this, not Asta is like trying to kill her or anything. It's obviously training, but it's like as they say, there's like a real battle. And in a real battle scenario, Asta gets wiped. Like he gets completely washed. Now, Ryudo does point out a good point about how Asta fights, which is very interesting. Kind of sits at the idea that he kind of like offensive, chillax, then move. It's kind of like a burst. He kind of does burst attacks. But the problem is, in the off period of his burst, that's when people can catch him, and that's pretty much what Ichika takes advantage of the entire time, which is that when he's on the move, he's good, but when he's not on the move, he's wide open effectively. And so that's what she capitalizes on pretty much the entire fight and makes him look weak, like embarrassingly weak. But Asta is able to keep up to a certain degree, and apparently is even so strong that even though he's getting washed the entire fight and gets hit with a devilish kick to the stomach. He's still able to keep conscious to the point where even she's surprised that he's actually able to like stand up to her at all. So in that sense, it's a good start. It's a good start. Now, obviously, this is going to continue the training arc, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter. Not too much here in terms of discussion. I think it's just a really good chapter. A nice little fight to kind of say, like, Ichika's built different at the moment. And that's it. With that all being said, leave a like if you like. Leave a dislike if you dislike. Comment. What do you think is going to be going on in the next chapter? Do you think Ichika's ever going to warm up to Asta? You think she's always going to hate that nigga? Let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like these by Clover and along with other series. Please check out the channel if you want to know about those other series. But if you want to see videos like these every single time a chapter comes out, feel free to subscribe, ring the notification bell, all those nice little thingies. Think you watch a video all the way through or skipping to this part because you're a weird person. With that all being said, the doc is out. Peace.